Real talk, real talk, real talk, real talk. What's going on? What's real talk? Why is it that you can work 12 hours a day? Or should I say, why is it that you can work 12-hour days? Post content every single day. Take every sales call that comes your way and still feel like you're running in place. Why is that? That's the burning question. Like you're hustling harder than ever, but the needle is still stuck, not moving. Here's what nobody's telling you. And the only way we can do it is we got to be real about it. See, nobody's telling you that the thing that you got or the thing that got you where you are right now is the exact thing keeping you stuck in quicksand, stuck in the mud. See, you're not lazy. You're not lacking the hustle. You're trapped in what I call the hustle versus the CEO paradox. And today, we going to get you up out of there. We going to break down why this trap is costing you time, money, and your freaking sanity. Because I know you're losing your mind. I know you're losing your mind. So stick with me. See, this one right here, any other time I holler, let's get started. This gonna hit different. So buckle up, man. Let's knock this one out.
Hey, solopreneurs. Are you ready to turn your one-person business into a thriving empire? Welcome to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast with Anthony Porter. Each week, we're bringing you practical tips, real-life stories, and step-by-step frameworks to grow your income, build your brand, and find balance in your business. New episodes drop every Monday at 6 a.m. The perfect way to start your week strong. If you love what you hear, make sure to subscribe, share the podcast with your network, and leave us a review. Your support helps us reach more solopreneurs just like you. Let's grow together. I'll see you on the next episode.
Hey, what's good? What's good? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast, the podcast where we talk real game for solopreneurs, so business owners, content creators, and coaches, consultants as well. Anyone building something from the ground up with no safety net. This is for you. This is exactly who this is for. This is for you. I'm your host, Mr. Anthony Porter. And if this is your first time tuning in, I'd like to welcome you to the family. We are we are a family. So make sure you hit the subscribe button because we drop new episodes every single Monday, 6 a.m. for your drive to work, your weekly dose of knowledge to help you kick that 9-to-5, kick that inconsistent income, and build that lifestyle that you can take back your time, your freedom, and your money. You want to be able to spend time. You want to be able to grow. You want to be able to do the things that you can do with your family as much as you can. Now, look, today's episode is one I've been wanting to record for a minute because, see, I see the pattern everywhere. I see it in my DMs. I see it in my clients. Heck, I lived it myself for so many years getting started. Now, you've probably been this person. So I'm going to ask you again, have you ever felt like you're the hardest working person in your circle? Everybody's got a circle. If you don't have a circle, then you ain't got no friends. But everybody's got a circle. So I'm asking you, have you ever felt like you're the hardest working person in your circle, but you get the least amount to show for it? You're creating content, you're networking, you're taking courses, reading books, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do right, but your bank account is still sitting on, yeah, right, what up, my brother? You can holler in your bank account, you can blow dust come up out of there. See, that's because most solopreneurs are stuck playing a game that they can't win. See, they're operating like a hustler when they need to be thinking like a CEO. I say that again. Most solopreneurs are operating like a hustler when they need to be thinking like a CEO. And the crazy part is most people don't even realize they're stuck until burnout comes in and they just give the hell up. Most people out here thinking they doing something great. They don't realize that when burnout hits, man, I ain't doing this no more. That's how they feel. But not you, because today we're going to take a deep swim. We're going to dive deep. We're going in on it. Why hustling alone will never scale. We got to get you to that mindset shift that changes every single thing, and how the next level CEO system can help you break through. And I mean break through that ceiling once you get to that point once and for all. So let's get to it, all right? Now, before we keep going, I need you to do me a favor. Listen, subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave us a comment. This engagement helps it reach other solopreneurs, course creators, coaches, consultants, small business owners. Because, see, everybody starts out as a solopreneur because they got the idea. So we want you to be able to open up the floodgates so everybody can get in on this, okay? So let's talk the hustler trap. See, this is point number one. The hustler trap. What got you here won't get you there. Think about it. What got you here will not get you there. So this is the first thing we got to discuss. When you start out as a solopreneur, you hustling, man. You hustle everything. You got to grind, man. You got to outwork everybody. That's the mentality that you have. So you wear every single hat. Every hat that needs to be worn, you are wearing it. You the marketer, you the salesperson, you are the content creator, you the bookkeeper, you the customer service rep. You are your business, okay? Now, if you got money to spend and you go out and hire a team, listen, that's fine. But if you ain't got nothing out there to begin with, how you gonna hire a team? Now, honestly, that's what it takes at the beginning. You got to be that person that handles everything. See, I always say this, and some of my peoples who've been rocking with me, I tell them all the time, nobody can tell you how to run your business until you know how to run your business. And so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you don't need to hustle, because you absolutely do. That's a part of it. You got to be vigilant. You got to be everywhere. You got to market yourself. See, I wouldn't be doing this podcast today. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't put in those 14-hour days, putting the content together, getting social media together, chopping it up with this person, chopping it up with that person, reaching out to mentors, studying different podcasts, studying different hosts, learning how to speak, learning how to articulate, learning how to be a CEO. But here's the problem. Most solopreneurs never graduate from being a hustler. They just don't. They stay stuck. If the weeds is up here, they stay stuck. Grinding on $500 clients, that's no way to go. Trading time for money, living paycheck to paycheck. Even though they're entrepreneurs, they're still living paycheck to paycheck. They're working harder than ever at a 9-to-5, but they still broke. Or should I say, they are working harder than ever before at their 9-to-5, and they still broke, exhausted, and one bad month away from a panic attack. And they think the answer is hustling harder, post more, work longer, say yes to everything. No, you can't hustle your way to freedom, man. You really can't. You can hustle your way to burnout. You can hustle your way to resentment, but you cannot, I repeat, you cannot hustle your way to scale. Now, a few years ago, I was grinding heavy. I had a coaching business. I was podcasting. I was doing one-on-one clients, running webinars, creating content on 3 different platforms, responding to DMs at 11 p.m. I was busy. Wintertime was, man, I don't sleep. I didn't sleep, but I didn't see a profit. So I wasn't profitable. I was making money, sure, but it wasn't the money that I expected to make. I was working longer hours than I was at my regular job. So can you imagine working 8 hours and then coming in and putting in another 5 or 6, 7 days a week, maybe another 8, sleep for 2 hours and right back at it again? That's what was going on. And when I looked at my calendar, I realized something terrifying. I couldn't take a week off without my income dropping to zero. That's when it hit me. I was running a business. No, I wasn't. I was never running a business. I had a glorified job that I created for myself. I was hustling. I wasn't a CEO. And that's the trap, the hustler mindset. See, growing up, that's all I knew. You either hustled your way on the football field, the basketball courts, the baseball diamond, the tennis courts, the track, or you hustled in the streets. But we all know what it gets you, right? See, most people are afraid to tell you their past lifestyle. Me, I can't be afraid to tell you. I was a hustler. I ran with a crew. We did things none of us are proud of. But see, I had to figure it out after so long, the CEO mindset. I had to figure out, if I build that system, I'm going to win. Walked away from that game, got into this game. See, the hustler trades time for money. The CEO builds assets to generate income without them. See, a hustler is in the business. The CEO works on the business. You get the picture? You feel me? That's what you want to do. You don't want to be in your business 24/7. You want your business to work. You want to be able to work on your business 1 to 2 hours a week and then call it complete, right? That's why I say it. You got to understand. That's the hustler trap. So now we got to talk about this one. We got to talk about the CEO shift from doer to designer. So what's the shift? It starts with, excuse me, your job is not to do it every single thing. Your job is to design every single thing. I'm gonna say that for the people in the back. Your job is not to do every single thing. It's to design every single thing. That means you're not just creating content. You're designing the content system that works whether you post today or not, period. You're not just hopping on sales calls, You're not hopping on a sales call. You're designing sales process that pre-qualified leads and closes deals with or without you. So you're not just showing up every day. You're designing a business that generates revenue, attracts clients, and builds authority on autopilot. Now, I know what you're thinking. It sounds great, but I'm a solopreneur. I'm still a solopreneur. I don't have a team. I don't have a budget. I can't just design a system. That was the thought process that I had. Bet, I hear you. But here's the truth. Here's the God-forsaken truth. You don't need a big team to think like a CEO. You just need to stop acting like an employee in your own business. See, one of my clients, Tasha Cool is a fan. I met Tasha at a marketing event 2 derbies ago. See, when people come in town for my city, Louisville, we have the fastest 2 minutes in March. In May. We had the fastest 2 minutes in May. Now, Tasha came in town. Her husband had dinner. We chopped it up. She came in making about $3K a month as a business coach. She was working her tail off. Husband was complaining. He didn't have time to see. We sit down. I just wanted to get to know him. See, I met them through a mutual friend. So shout out to Jay, not Jay-Z, but my homeboy Jay. And he was like, man, she's, because I asked him, I'm like, she went to the restaurant. I was like, so what's going on, man? You know, how you doing? So he's spilling the tea to me. He's like, man, she's running free challenges. She's always on her phone in her DMs. Basically, she's giving away her expertise for free, hoping someone will eventually pay her. She was stuck at $3K a month. Same revenue, same stress, same grind. So when she came back, I asked one question. I said, what is stopping you from doing one certain thing? She said, what is that? I said, what if you stop trying to do more and start designing better? She kind of looked at me. She said, what's that mean? So we took a look at the business and realized she had no system, no email list, no automated funnel, no clear offer ladder. She was winging it every single day, hoping something would stick. So here's what we did. I told her husband, I said, get your piece of paper. You're going to be her co-business owner. You're going to make her stick to the script. And I told Tosh, I said, when he starts his business, it's going to be the reverse. You're going to do the exact same thing. I said, so both of y'all need to write this down, but you write it down first. I said, we need to build a lead magnet, a free resource that attracts her ideal client and get them on her email list. I need to create a signature offer. That's number 2. One clear program that she could sell over and over without reinventing the wheel. And then number 3, we need to automate the sales process so people can learn about her, great value, and buy from her, even when y'all just at dinner kicking it. Like today, they could be buying from you right now. So as we looked at that, we got to dipping and dabbling into it. And I said, listen, her, those 3 are your first major steps. So we walked through how to do everything. Now, mind you, May the 1st weekend in May is when this happens, right? So May, June, July, August the 3rd, or should I say it was like the 2nd weekend in August. Within 90 days, she went from 3K to 12K. Same amount of hours, same effort, but totally different results. Her husband hit me up, so, he jumped on the text. Because they was friends of my friend, I gave them the personal. He's like, bruh. I was like, yeah. He said, it worked. I said, oh, did it? Yeah. I said, okay, cool. I said, so what you doing? He said, man, we chilling. So what you mean you chilling? He said, man, it's Friday night. We're great to go out to dinner. I said, you mean you're not working? And we're going back and forth on text. I'm laughing because me and Jay was sitting in a meeting. My buddy Jay runs a radio station, online radio. So me and him sitting in the meeting, we talking about the same thing. His friend, his old lady, and Tasha are good friends. And she had already called his lady and told her. And Jay was like, bruh, you better get this text message. It's going to be funny. So we're laughing. They're super excited. I felt super vindicated because I didn't let nobody down. Gave them the value, gave them the keys to the Ferrari. And they took the Ferrari on a test drive and came back with a Bugatti. Now, I know it sounds like a Bugatti. It's a lot more expensive, but the mindset was they was driving a Pinto. I offered them the keys to the Ferrari. They took it, implemented everything, and came back with that Bugatti. All right, so now, once that happened, I said, you stopped hustling, didn't you? Started thinking like a CEO. He said, man, my business is a great jump now. I said, well, okay, y'all keep the same format. Maybe her 12K get to 24. Your first 12 will come through. And so now y'all at 36K. Can you imagine by this time next year, y'all could probably be at 100K grinding, but still able to maneuver, take care of things, buy for real cars. Like they super economy type people. I use the analogy of Ferrari and Bugatti, but they would just purchase probably a Lexus. They some budget saving people, but that's what they had to be. but they were still hustling like a hustler instead of hustling out of the way and working like a CEO, thinking like a CEO. Okay. So as that became the focal point, the system comes into play. And it's the next level CEO system. What it is and why does it work? So I know you probably wonder, it sounds dope, but how do it actually make the shift? That was a great question. This is where the next level CEO system comes into play. All right. See, the one thing you have to understand is, first off, the knowledge is power, but without action is just that, just powerful knowledge. But this is the exact same framework that most of your major corporations have been using for years, but nobody ever dug into how the framework works. So this is the exact framework. This is the exact same framework I use to go from grinding 60 hours a week, building my business that runs smoother now, generates consistent income, and gives me my time back. And it's the same system I teach to every client that I've come across inside of the programs, my program. Now, here's a breakdown. 5 core pillars. All right. Pillar number 1 is the CEO positioning. You can't build a business if nobody knows what you do or who you serve. Most solopreneurs are just too general. See, me, I help solopreneurs, coaches, content creators, small business owners. Now, I know that sounds broad. Go from a inconsistent to a 6 to 7 figure lifestyle of their choosing. Yeah, I know it sounds broad. You saying break it down. You saying get it to the point. Okay, I do that through podcasting. Podcasting is evergreen. You got to change your mindset. You can't be confusing. See, I give you who I help. I could just say solopreneurs. I could just say coaches. I give you the whole group. I tell you what transformation is coming, but then I give you how we're going to make that transformation. All right. Give it to you. See, the CEO positioning is about getting crystal clear on your niche, your message, your unique POV, so that when people see your content, they think, damn, this homeboy get me. Then we get into pillar number 2, the content that converts. See, content isn't just about likes and views. It's about conversion. Every post, every podcast episode that I do, every video that I make should be moving people closer to becoming a client. You have to be able to say, this content is educational, builds trust, creates demand, not just entertains. That's my content strategy. That should be your content strategy. All right. Once you get the content that converts, you got to have an offer of architecture. Most solopreneurs don't even have an offer problem. They have an offer structure problem. They're selling one-off services with no upsells, no continuity, no leverage. You need an offer ladder, low ticket entry point, a mid-ticket offer, and a high-ticket premium service. You're building trust in the low. The mid, they start to love you. And when you get to that high ticket, they got so much trust in you, they're going to be buying from you. And this is the way you monetize your audience at every level. See, right now we in this fraud stage where people are just not getting exactly what it is that they want, or people are selling them pipe dreams. I was on a webinar earlier. I like to tap into webinars because I like to see what's going on. So I'm on this webinar. I'm always trying to enhance my knowledge. Now, the webinar was good. It was 3 hours long. I got ADHD. I don't sit around that long. But the webinar was good. But in the beginning, the webinar came out and just was basically selling before he even gave you the information. So I'm looking at it was on a Zoom call. It was probably about 600 to 700 people on the Zoom call. By the time we got to hour number 2.5, close to 3 hours, there was 500 people on the Zoom call. By the time we got to the close, there was 300 people. People was dropping off. I mean, I think he still did well, but So after pillar 3, after you get your your structure down, your architecture, you have to think about your sales system. So that's pillar number 4. If you're doing cold outreach or hoping people slide in your DMs, you don't have a sales system. You have a hope strategy. The real sales system attracts leads, nurtures them, pre-qualifies them, and converts them without you having to chase anyone down. That's the sales system that you want to have. All right. And then number 5 is the CEO operations. This is the unsexy stuff that changes everybody's life. You got to have an email automation system. You got to have a CRM. You got to have standard operating procedures. And then you got to have some batch content. You got to be batching your content. Scheduling systems, stuff that makes your business predictable instead of chaotic, because you can't scale chaos. All right. You really can't. So when all 5 of these pillars are together, You stop trading time for money and start building a business that works even when you don't. And that's the difference between a hustler and a CEO. That's the difference. Now, one thing we got to talk about is point number 4, and that's the gap most people miss. So you can have the best content in the world. You can be the hardest worker in your industry. You can even have a great offer. But if you don't have a system that ties it all together, you just guessing. And that's the gap. Most solopreneurs are out here collecting strategies from Pokemon cards. They got a course on Instagram, a webinar about email marketing, a PDF on sales funnels, but none of it works together. It's just a bunch of random tactics with no cohesive strategy. And that's why you stuck. Now, the next level CEO system isn't just about learning new tactics. It's about having that roadmap, a step-by-step process that takes you from I'm grinding and barely surviving to having a business that's predictable, profitable, and scalable, man. Like, you got to be able to be in that situation. All right. And the best part is you don't need a team of 10 people or even a $50K ad budget to make it work. You just need the right framework and the willingness to implement. Remember, I said knowledge is power, but it doesn't work if you don't implement it. All right. So here's where we're at. You've been working hard. You've been showing up. You've been putting in all the reps. But if you're still stuck in the same income level, still grinding without seeing results, still feeling like one of the peanuts that's wah, 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 still having panic attacks, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're playing the wrong game. You're stuck in hustler trap. You need to step into the CEO role. And what makes it better is I want to help you with that shift. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck. What I'm going to give to you is free. The free training, the walkthrough of the next level CEO system, step by step, period. The full framework, how to position yourself, build content that converts, create offer ladders, automate your sales systems, and set up your levels, man. Set up your CEO level of operations. We can't play around with this. Have you seen the economy lately? People are losing their jobs because they have no system. But you got all of these companies that still need to get those ads out there, right? You got to be able to position yourself so you can get some of that ad money. You got to be able to position yourself to help people. Listen, podcasting is great. It's evergreen. I think everybody needs a podcast. Why? It's the only free way besides YouTube that you can get your message out without having to pay for it, man. Once you record it, upload it, get all your SEO done, it's perfect. It's on there. It's not coming down unless you just get your channel destroyed or somebody hacks it or somebody does anything. Now, if you're ready to stop hustling, like I know you are, here's what you need to do. Grab the next level CEO kit. Get free access to the community, because in that community, you're going to find people that's going to be in there. So we're building all of this right now. You're going to find people in there that's going to help you in some aspect of life. Because listen, I'm a podcaster, but I had to find somebody that could help me with email marketing. I had to find somebody that could help me with SEO. Inside of these groups, people help each other. And that's what you have to do. Now, I told you, it's completely free. It's completely free. All right? It's completely free. We just want to get you in. We want to get you over there. We want to get you to build a community. We want you to be successful. All right? Again, stop playing around. What we're going to talk about, we're going to implement, and we're going to do this thing right. Okay? You ready? So until next time, remember, stop hustling, start building, and always level up. Until next time, it's your man, the CEO, next level, Mr. Anthony Porter. We out of here. Peace. Clear.
Thanks for tuning in to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast. I hope today's episode gave you the insights and inspiration you need to take the next step in your business journey. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share this episode with a fellow solopreneur. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach more people just like you. Let's thank our producers of the show, Sincere and Charlie Straughter, Rhea Cash and Theory Porter. So don't forget, for more tips, tools, and resources, subscribe to the show. So just keep building, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.